Good morning. This is not an album review. There was 3 albums released last night at midnight. Everybody has work the next day. Not the greatest thing, but I will do my due diligence and give y'all a full album review. But today we are here strictly for Kendrick Lamar. Okay, these are the spark notes. Drake obviously took some shots. I'm like Plaxico Burress on the New York Giants. I'm catching the strays in the end zone. And, you know, this is not an album review, so I more so did a Kim to it. I skimmed through it. That's a Drake reference right there. We're going to move on. Speaking of Plaxico Burress, you know, they say our voice is a weapon, and sometimes that weapon can be used against us. And I'm not sure if these were the right moves. Kendrick is somewhere in the cut, in a dark studio, looking possessed, and I'm scared. The first line that comes to mind is, what died back in 2024 is a big piece. And when I listened to that, man, that really hurt me, man. But ultimately, there was only one winner, and it was a unanimous MVP. I'm talking Steph Curry in 2016. But with that being said, we all know that 2024 took a huge hit on Drake. I'm just not sure if there's a method to the madness of letting the whole world know this 2 years later. But it's the honest truth. So it's been on his mind, right? I just feel like that's the line that summarizes everything. Hey, 2024 was a hard year. They were doing the Pop Out, Not Like Us music video released at the white party. I was at the white party. He was probably trying to raise up some girls. You don't know. Like, this is a tough time. And then his best friend, LeBron James, snaked him behind the back. Okay, you're hurt. You're hurt. Brother, see a therapist. So that beef clearly destroyed him. I just feel like from this point on, it's like when your boss calls you in for a meeting and you're like, damn, this could have been sent in the email. He then talks about the battle. He says, people want to talk about a battle. I'm battling patience. I battled frustration. I'm about to turn 40, dog. I'm battling aging. I'm battling the fact that the album ain't even dropped and already their ass is complaining. I hear you. They were complaining right away. The moment you dropped 3 albums, people was comparing your performance to some of the most streaky shooters in the NBA. They basically said you scored 25 points. Whoop-de-doo. You took 88 shots. You know, so I get where he's coming from. But he actually got really personal here. And he says, you know, he was battling so many things, battling the label. And then he said that his dad is dealing with cancer. He's battling stages. And I think that was one of the more introspective lines of, it's hard to really think about the beef when I got all these other things going on in my mind. I got all these other things going on in my family. They say everyone has issues in life until you have health issues. Now you only have one issue, and that one issue is to get your health right. So you can have all these problems until that becomes a situation. I think he did a great job of sharing that in the intro track. Now, you know, there's things that get a little shaky, okay? So you get the Dust song. Now, there's some shots on here at A$AP Rocky. Oh my God, A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky got it the worst. I can't tell if these lines on Dust are directed at Kendrick, but he does say, go blow the dust off your plaques. He also mentions the year 2012 a lot, mainly referring to Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City being like his one true golden year, and then everything after that being a drop off. But that's false. That is very false. Okay, I heard the DJ Khaled song for free. You were basically giving Kendrick a shout out. You like that song, bro. You are a fan. Stop acting. Kendrick has had a lot of phenomenal years. 2012, 2017, 2015, 2021, 2022. Like, you can't, don't do that. That's not the battle you want. But he does say, my white label had to go white label shit when he stepped out his body and finally got hot. To me, that was directly at Kendrick and I think Universal Music Group. Do I really want to hear this in 2026? Why? This is like the Kevin Hart roast when Cat Williams took the stage and was like, yo, brother, I hate you.
I said I hate him. They said, come anyway.
And then Kevin Hart was just laughing his ass off. Cat Williams walks off the stage. And then like later on, Kevin Hart start dissing Cat Williams back. But it's like, bro, he was right there in front of you. That's kind of how I feel about some of these lines. The Run to Atlanta song. Now, okay, I keep doing the sports highlights. But that play when Dwayne Wade is on the fast break and he gives the ball to LeBron James and he holds his arms out wide because he knows what's about to happen. That was Future to Kendrick Lamar in 2024. So I'm just confused on the collaboration. But hey, I love that y'all pieced it up. That was one of the more clever moments. Like, you know, Kendrick basically said you run to Atlanta when you need to check balance. Like the song is Run to Atlanta. I love it. I actually think that's awesome. I think the concept of the song is better than the song itself. But it's still, you know, it's growing on me though. And I appreciate the effort. Don't even recognize none of these things at the top of the chart. I looked. Luther was on top of the charts for most of last year. You had a, bro, come on, man. This is a beautiful song, man. Luther Vandross. Come on, it won a Grammy. This is a beautiful song. The whole YMCA, just like the Village People. That was clever. YMCA, Village People, Young Money in California. He had a lot of like the Notorious B.I.G.-esque going back to Cali lines. A little cliche, but this one was clever. To be the number one, you gotta lead the way, and to hold something over my head forever, you're still a couple feet away. Brother, we left the short jokes in 2024. This is what got your ass whooped in the first beef. This is what messed you up the first time around. The short jokes. We can't, this brother, he's not here to play. You mention his height one more time, he might deconstruct your whole life experience. You don't want to do that. Stop talking about that man's height. Seriously. You know, the Muggsy Bogues line, okay, that was cool. But that's neither here nor there. And by the way, Kendrick would be more like Nate Robinson. You know, like Nate Robinson was an aggressive dunker. You know, if I'm doing the short thing, Kendrick, don't get mad at me. I'm just making the parallels. But overall, the short jokes, we got to end it there, man. The bar is very low when it comes to short jokes. No pun intended. We don't want to hear that. Stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
Because if he mentions your braids again, all of a sudden we getting self-conscious. He mentioned the owl in the cage. When you watch the end of the Not Like Us music video, you see the owl in the cage. And Drake says, you know, I'm not the one to lock up. You can't lock up this owl. Cool. I like the reference. I hate that you're putting it on this album that we've been waiting for so long. This is what should have came out instead of Wagwan Delilah. I think the most head-ass line is, what is it, the braids? Even if I cut them, I can never fade. That obviously is probably the biggest line in Euphoria. You know, when you watch the pop out, I think everybody screams the loudest for what is it, the braids?
What is it, the braids?
Maybe that really, like, I don't know. That was a sucker punch that just really hurt Drake, but brother, get over it. You know, I don't know. Like, it was cool. I get it. You know, instead of braiding up your hair, you do the fade. I get the cleverness to it. It doesn't work for me. This line isn't necessarily aimed at Kendrick. It's aimed at J. Cole, but you know, he says, I stood 10 T's and accepted the mission because I'd rather death than submission. How can you press the ignition and let some memories of the past affect your decision? I guess for J. Cole, the memories of their friendship, Kendrick and J. Cole, that memory ended up altering the beef on his end. Like, man, do I really have any problems with this dude? I was cool with him back in, 2013. Let's move on. That's what J. Cole was on. Drake is like, man, why you let that seep into your mind? Like, we supposed to be in this together. He's really hurt that J. Cole left him to dry. But then he says, F the big three anyway. There was too many chefs in the kitchen. And the thing with that line is that's the whole purpose of Like That. Kendrick was basically not trying to, stir anything up too much. He was basically saying there's no big three, it's just Big Me. There can only be one. Yes, there is too many chefs in the kitchen. It's been that way this whole decade, and I've hated it. Kendrick has been saying this since Control. Drake just finally got on board, you know, and he went to hell with him, and that's cool. You just lost.
But overall, I think J. Cole, he's going to get shots damn near for the rest of his career. That's why that brother is better off playing basketball in between these albums, because he's just going to keep getting these strays, and there's not much he can really do because it's like you can't really say anything about either artist.
And I love the fall off. J. Cole's one of my favorite artists. He just wants to keep the peace. I actually interviewed his fans, and I basically was asking, like, Kendrick Lamar or Drake, pick a side. And it was really difficult for them to pick a side. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to release this video.
As a J. Cole fan, Drake or Kendrick?
Right away, the world became like politics. You're either Democrat or Republican. You're either Kendrick or you Drake. And you got to pick a side, boom, boom. And I felt like the nigga that was like disgusted both ways damn near.
As a J. Cole fan, Drake or Kendrick?
Yo, you hear that? Well, I gotta go. I'm walking away.
Yeah, you gotta answer the question. Nope.
I'm in the same place. Right. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yo, I genuinely love these niggas.
I had to store it away, but I didn't want to cause any trouble. The last line that really takes aim at Kendrick would be, he says, I'm fighting the man, not suing the rapper. One more time. I'm fighting the man, not suing the rapper. Brother, you're not Malcolm X.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Stop. You're not what? Who's the man in this situation? You are the man. You're the boy and the man. Who are you fighting? Yourself? You're fighting the very thing that you capitalized on your whole career? That line, that might be the worst one. He should have left that off. Leave that off. Don't mention a lawsuit in your album. But yes, album review coming soon. We're gonna be, we're gonna give this another 3-4 listens. I'm gonna do my due diligence as a journalist. I'm not like the rest of the field. No hate over here. We just want to get the truth out, the facts out. So be here soon. I'll see y'all. For now, we end off with a hug. Bring it in.
I was trying to get a portion, trying to make a fortune. Beat time with candy, I'm trying to be a boyfriend.